Welcome to Bad Lighting Bag Stories of 12 Times Peter Had Homework. This is Chapter 8, which is Scott.
I'm coming to you with an offer you can't refuse. Pausing, Scott groaned and buried his face in his hands. Wait, no, that was lame. I'm sorry. So, the offer, right. Can you babysit for me? I'll pay you, and Cassie's awesome. You'll love her. Maybe you'll love her. I mean, maybe you don't like kids, and wait, dude. Algebra long forgotten, Peter jumped up and grabbed both of Scott's shoulders. Are you offering me a job? Yeah? Blinking, Scott took a few steps back. I mean, I completely understand if you don't want to take me up on that offer, but it's just that Hope and I were hoping to go on a double date with Maggie. But if you can't, that's totally cool. I guess I'll ask Hope if we can... No, yes, I mean a job with money. Clapping his hands together in excitement, Peter offered Scott a wide, excited grin. Thank you so much, Mr. Lang. Please, Scott smiled sheepishly at Peter. Just call me Scott. All right, Mr. Lang. Peter responded agreeably. I love that he calls Clint, but he calls him Mr. Lang.
Yeah.
Without missing a beat. Wait, you have a kid? And you chose to become a fugitive instead? Scott grimaced at that, guilt and worry flickering over his features long enough for Peter to realize that he'd never intended it to go as far as it did. I didn't know the full details, he admitted, gritting his teeth unhappily. I didn't think too much about accepting it, about what that would entail, and I didn't really want to go in the first place. The others told me that I shouldn't let them hold me back from an opportunity, and I thought, Captain America. He blew out a deep sigh, short and loud, and scrubbed a hand over his face. Pretty stupid, huh? Scott asked. Nah. Peter pulled his legs into a crisscross. That's basically what I did with Mr. Stark anyways. Scott snickered at that, tipping his head back ever so slightly and closing his eyes. So we're both idiots? Peter pretended to think about it. Maybe you are, he replied teasingly, but I've got a pretty high IQ. Scott threw a pillow at him. Ah, zip it, Spiderling. Wait. No, don't call me that. Did Mr. Stark tell you about that? I think it suits you. No, Mr. Lang, I'm sorry. Forgive me. I don't know. I'll babysit for free. Ah, kid, you don't have to go so far. Look, whatever I am, I'm not a cheapskate. Says the guy who won't go anywhere without a coupon. That's just being smart with your money. It's called being a penny-pinching old lady. Better than being a broke little brat. Yeah, well, at least I'm still young. Are you implying that I'm old?
Yes.
They bantered back and forth a bit more before stopping for breath, and then, in one single instant, made eye contact. Scott was the first to break, bursting into laughter, and Peter was quick to join him. So your daughter, Peter gasped when he finally managed to get the words out between giggles. What's she like? Scott held up a hand and laughed a bit more before gasping for breath, and he smiled fondly, his wide smile turning into something a bit softer and sweeter. She's the most perfect thing ever. He sighed dreamily, and Peter tossed the pillow back at his face. Oh, no, you're a sap, Peter groaned, burying his face in his hands. Scott stood up and gave Peter a solid whack with the pillow. Zip it, kid. Like you're not the same when you talk about that aunt of yours, but I kid you not. Within 1 second of seeing her, you'll be smiling. She's just so amazing. And needless to say, listening for the better part of an hour to Scott just raving about Cassie, it was a while before Peter managed to get to his algebra. Though, seeing that sappy, fond smile on Scott's lips, Peter couldn't find it in himself to regret it. Then he met her, and it was true. She was the sweetest thing ever. Hope you enjoyed part 8. Stay tuned for the other parts, and I'll see you tomorrow.